Hello everyone, Jak Syn here on behalf of Fiend.com and Future Daze, and today it's another exciting episode of artist interviews. Today I'm sitting with James of Nights. How you doing today, James?
Yeah, everything is good.
Well, that's so great to hear. I'm glad that things are going well for you over there. It seems is it a little gloomy over there right now, it seems like?
The weather's not amazing considering it's summer. It's a little grey. Yeah, we could do with some more sun.
Yeah, I mean, the problem right now is over here in LA, like it's too much sun. We are burning. We are burning like up to a crisp right now because the weather is in like the 80s and 90s. So for us over here, it's like anything that's above like 70, you know what I mean? Where we get really like angry and like upset about it. You know what I mean? If it's above 70 or 75, it's uncomfortable for everybody here.
I can't imagine you getting angry at all.
I mean, I mean, it takes a lot for me to get angry. It really does. You'd have to poke and prod me to get me angry. But for the most part, I'm a pretty easygoing kind of guy.
I can see that.
Well, I know you. You seem like a pretty outstanding person. You seem like a pretty cool, laid back kind of guy. I mean, look at your place that you're in right there. You're on your couch, you have your jacket on, your sunglasses, you know, the mood's just right. It looks great.
Yeah, well, it's not the biggest place in the world, but it's home, and this is where most of my music is made, and most of the magic happens. So yeah, I've been here about 7 years now. Yeah, I don't intend on leaving anytime soon.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the same way for me over here, you know. I mean, over here in Signal Hill / Long Beach area, I mean, it's you know, I'm close to the beach, you know, like not super close to the beach, but I can see the beach from the hill here. But it's like the weather's just nice, like the area's nice. It's like I have to be somewhere close to water in order to be okay. So I mean, I don't plan on leaving here for quite some time as well. You know, I feel like this is home, you know.
Yeah, I feel the same actually. I'm probably about 18 kilometers from the sea, and since we've been in lockdown and all of that stuff, that's the only thing I miss actually. Well, that and the live shows, but live shows and then a visit to the beach would be nice.
Yeah, like being able to get out there stick your feet in the sand, you see the waves crash on the shore. I miss that too. Our beaches are closed, and it's hard, but hey, you know what? It's the little things. At least we could still go out into our backyards, go out and, you know, take walks around the neighborhood and stuff like that. At least we're not shut inside, so that's at least good, you know.
Yeah.
So today we're gonna ask you a couple of questions and see where it goes from here. Are you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
What are 3 memorable moments from your musical career?
There's been a few moments in probably the last couple of years that they're just things that I didn't expect to happen, and then they came out of nowhere. One of them was that I was asked to do a duet with an artist that I just have always liked. So that was a guy called Holger Wobke, and he's in this band Boytronic. And they were just a big influence on me, and I had the opportunity to sing with him live, and I did that last September. So that was a real big deal for me, because back 10 years ago, when I was listening to CDs and things, I never expected, you know, to be on the same stage as that person. So that was cool. And then I suppose like this time last year, I released my first proper album, and we had like a launch party in London, which we managed to sell out, and that was it's all a real blur now, because it was just one of those shows where the audience got on the stage and there were balloons, and it was just a bit, you know, manic and it was in this basement, and yeah, that was pretty unforgettable. And kind of not related to this project, but in a previous project, I performed at the Montreux Jazz Festival, but not playing jazz, which was probably, I don't really know how that happened, but it was a little outdoor stage, and it was just packed, and yeah, so and playing something, yeah, so prestigious, I guess, even if it was unexpected, that felt pretty cool as well.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Like, thank you for sharing those moments with us. You know, I mean, you going back to your first moment, it's like, isn't it always great when you get to work with an artist that you admire and that you love, you know, somebody that you kind of just go, this person helped influence me on my journey. This person was like just that kind of spark in a way, a little bit, you know, to help me along my way. And being able to be up there and or being able to do work with them, I mean, it's just amazing. I know for a lot of other artists, it's like they find happiness in that as well, being able to work with other people that they admire, because it really helps push their sound forward. It helps push their creativity forward, because they kind of go, wow, you know, hey, this person that I admire, they want to work with me. Like, really, like, we want to work together, like blending the sound. I mean, that's great to have. The other thing that you were talking about too with your album that you released, Dollars and Cents. I've listened to it. It's an amazing album. It's really good. I enjoyed it. It's got a really great sound to it. It's versatile in a way. Each track is just a little bit, there's variances and differences here and there, and you could see where you kind of experimented with certain things, but the album is just, it's in its entirety, it's very, very well done. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I know a lot of other people out there have thoroughly enjoyed it as well. So what was it like working on that album? Like, what was the whole process behind that?
Well, when I first started to create the Nights project, if you like, it was kind of an experiment, and I didn't know how long I would do it for. So the first thing I did was just made 3 tracks, you know, and I didn't think much more of it. And then they got a little bit of radio play and that kind of thing. So in a way, the album was built over quite a long time, because it was every 3 months, you would write a new track that was breaking through and really, really good. And then I suppose, so yeah, it probably took 3 years for the album to actually become an album, because when I began that journey, there was no album in sight. You know, it was just a real slow process.
Yeah, you know, a lot of time, you know, when building an album, it's like some artists, they kind of go, you know, I have a concept here. You know, I'm going to push this concept forward. This is my whole thing. I'm going to write everything around this concept. Then a lot of the other time, it's like, you know, songs that you generate through the years, like you know, bring things up, you're building here and there. And I think for like albums like that, you know, you have a lot of differences in things, because you're at different points in time of your life. You're in different areas at those points in time, you know, and you're kind of going like, I felt like this at this certain moment, and I felt like this at this certain moment. I felt good here, I felt down here, I felt excited here. So when you finally push them all together and kind of compile them all into an album, you kind of go, wow, I have some really dynamic stuff here, because it's like there's highs and lows and sides, you know, right side, left side. Doesn't matter, you're all over the board. But I think that is a pretty good way to go a lot of the time, because you get to see a variation of sound with everybody. Because usually when working on an album, it's like, if you're working on something conceptually, you'll spend like months or a year or whatever building on this one concept. But when you have everything compiled over the years, you get to show a really broad spectrum of what you can do. So I think that it really shows up in this album here.
Ah, cool. I'm glad you liked it, because I think that to find a thread sometimes, because you're right, you know, the songs are coming from so many different places, that in the end you just have to find the glue that sticks together. And for me, that glue ended up being pretty much the drum sound, and then the way the vocals were recorded. Those were the two things. I could almost change anything else, as long as the drums and the voice were produced in the same way.
Exactly.
So yeah, that helped.
Well, see, that's great right there. You know, it's like you're finding, it's like there's no set path with music. There's no one way to go. There's no linear path on it. It's always, you know, ups, downs, rights, lefts. It's always all over the board. It's however we're feeling at those moments and times. But it's like, yes, you're changing your variations on what you want to sing about, what you want to talk about. But it's like at its core, you know, it is still that sound that you want to produce to the world. So thank you for kicking out an amazing album, because I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's a pleasure, and I when I released it 1 year ago, I had no expectations really, just to get it out there. So it's just nice to get such good feedback from people.
Well, to everybody out there, if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out now. From Nights, Dollars and Cents, you guys are gonna love it. It's an amazing album, and you can find it. Where can they find this album?
It's on Spotify, it's on Bandcamp, Deezer, iTunes, you know, you name it.
All over the board. Well, everybody go and check that out as soon as you can. What would you say is your favorite album / EP that you've ever worked on?
So it has to be Dollars and Cents. But I have some nice memories of the early EPs that I did, because they were a bit more go to the studio for a couple of days and whatever happened. So you'd have, you know, 3, maybe 4 days to go and come out with something, and you had to commit to that. You had to commit to the outcome. And I quite like that as a feeling. Even though the album took a long time, it would be really nice to go in with somebody who said, no, we're going to make an album in 10 days or 2 weeks. And because it's nice to have that input where someone just tells you, you know, stop fooling around with sounds, just get the song down and move on, you know. So the early EPs I made, there's a sort of magic there as well that is different, because we didn't spend so much time on them.
Yeah, and you're kind of like held to I guess a standard or a time frame, you know, and where they're kind of going like, you know, we're going to do this day in and day out. We're going to work towards this thing to get this done. It's like punching a time clock and going into work. You know what I mean? Like you're there to work on this thing. I mean, you can be creative, yes, but it's like you're creative under a constraint here and there. I mean, for sometimes some albums, you know, whatever you're working on, an EP or whatever, sometimes that works. But if you're working on a full-length album, sometimes it takes a lot longer to do that, to realize the vision, you know. But I'm sure that that was, you know, an interesting process to go through that as well, you know, having to stay on point every day.
Yeah, and I think that comes from having some strange musical freedom, because when I began the project, there was nothing at stake, because no one had heard it, you know. So you've got this strange thing where you don't really have anyone to please, you know. So you're not really thinking about that. You're just really thinking about getting the tracks down in the best way possible in the best way possible.
Yeah, I mean, because you're really just, you know, you're hearing it for yourself. I mean, you're making it kind of at that point for yourself. I mean, because, you know, you don't have any way to bounce it off anybody else. I mean, you can like call up friends and like send stuff over and go, hey, what do you think of this? But you're really just writing for yourself at that moment. It's like for a lot of time, you know, people who produce it and do a lot of producing at home and creating albums at home, like, you know, you'll listen, you know, artists will just constantly listen to the song over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
And they'll go, and by the time they're ready to release it, they go, I don't really like this song. I mean, I like it, but like, I don't like it anymore. I loved it when I started doing it, like this first like month or two, and you're like working on it, you're like, wow, this is so great. And then by like the 4th or 5th month, you're listening to it over and over again. You're going like, you know, the people will listen to it, they go, man, this is such a great song. You're like, yeah, I think it's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're kind of going like, I've heard it so much, you know, but then you'll kind of put it away for a while, you know, you'll have it on a release, and then you'll go back and listen to it like months down the road, or like a year down the road, and you'll kind of go, this is actually a really, really good song. And it's probably just because of the fact that I haven't listened to it in forever. So
Yeah. I think sometimes a song takes on a whole new meaning, and I can remember certain times where you really didn't enjoy rehearsing the song at all. Like the rehearsals were just the worst, but the audience reaction live can turn that around completely, where it becomes the best song to play live, but the worst song to rehearse.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because the audience make it.
the audience does make it. You know, it's like me as an artist, I've had these moments where in the past where you're right, you've been working on a song and you're rehearsing it, and you kind of go, I'm not really feeling this song, and you kind of second guess it because you kind of go, should I put it in the rotation? Should I put it in the live show? And then you do, and the crowd really, you know, gravitate towards it. They really like love it. And then all of a sudden you kind of go, okay, well then I guess it's a pretty awesome song. But yeah, I totally get where you're coming from with that. What was the drive behind getting you into making music and performing?
I can remember buying. I would buy when I was a kid my first 7-inch singles, and I have no idea what led me to buy. The first one was Guns N' Roses, I think, and then the second one was Paula Abdul, and then the third one was some hip hop or something. I can't remember. So I mean, but from the age of 7 or 6, I had this real interest in just music and collecting music and that kind of thing. It wasn't until I was about 13 or 14 that I started to think I'd like to be in a band. And I guess it's a familiar story for most people that they just start a band with friends when you're at school and that kind of thing. And I started a band with some older guys that just said, if you want to be in the band, you're the singer. And I didn't even want to be the singer then. I couldn't sing either. But I guess I stuck with it because I really wanted to be involved in something. So I just kept showing up every week and rehearsing every week. And then a little bit after that, I thought, oh, maybe I am the singer then. But I didn't believe it when they you're the singer. I just stayed with them because it was the only band that would have me be in it, you know.
I can kind of relate to that a little bit too. It's like when I first started out, it was you know, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Oh, I'm going to play guitar or whatever. But then, you know, it was like high school. Joined up with a couple of people in high school, a couple of friends in high school, and then all of a sudden, like, here I am becoming the singer because no one had a sing. We didn't have a singer, so it was like, you want to try your hand at singing? I was like, okay, sure. So it kind of sends you down this little road where you kind of go, should I stick with it? Should I continue, you know, with doing that? Is this the right thing here and there? And then you pick up other instruments, you know, like, you know, picking up synthesizer, you know, picking up like bass guitar. But at its core, I think it's just kind of those things that imprint on you. Like there's just that one thing when you get into music where you kind of go, I think it might be kind of like the first thing that you kind of realize, like, hey, I'm actually kind of good at this. Maybe I should just continue on down that road a little bit, see where it takes me. And you have a pretty good voice. I like your voice. I think it's pretty rad. And it's like, were you you know, being self-taught? I mean, it's pretty great. Your voice is awesome.
Thank you very much. It's a funny journey, isn't it? Because I think I can actually remember like 4 years when no one would have made those comments about my voice. You know, the first 4 years were you would question why I kept going back for more, actually, because some audiences were cruel, man, you know, like really. But maybe it's that honesty that helps you improve. And maybe it's that people tell you when you suck and whatever, and that's how it was at the start. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long road, and lots of shows and lots of singing. And then one day you just wake up and you think, it works.
It does. You're right. Exactly. I mean, you know, I think some of the best singers, you know, excelled at their craft, you know, because of the fact that people were brutally honest with them, you know, saying like, hey, you need to, you know, like, hey, you know, if you maybe practice more, you know, I've been told, you know, in the past, you know, hey, you suck. I'm like, gee, great. That's going to help me even more from now. And I'm going to keep pushing a little bit harder, you know. So it's like, if you have somebody being brutally honest with you, and it doesn't matter what that is, you know, if it's singing or playing guitar or, you know, writing something, it doesn't matter. If somebody's telling you something, it's going to push you harder to maybe in a way prove them wrong, or to get out of your own head, you know, like push yourself to be better, you know, if it's just you personally. So I think that you can definitely see that there. I mean, you continued on your journey and here you are, you know, you are right where you need to be, you know.
I hope so. Yeah. It's, yeah, you're right though. And I think it's important to, when you do listen to people, not to be too down on yourself, because not everybody is right, you know. So it's taking these comments and being able to decide what to do with them, I think, and just trust yourself a little bit, and it helps.
I mean, it's all constructive criticism. You know, it's like we need to know how, you know, we as human beings, sometimes it's hard for us to take constructive criticism because we think, oh, this person's talking bad about us. This person is bashing us, who we are, you know, personally. No, that's not true. It's like constructive criticism is there to help you along your journey. It's not there to be mean. You know, yes, sometimes what they say is kind of can be very blunt, but it's not there to make you feel bad as a person. Like they're not attacking your character. They're just saying, you know, hey, maybe you can improve on certain things if you just push yourself a little bit more. Because, hey, we as human beings, we are a lot stronger than we give ourselves credit for. And we can take a lot more than we think we can. So to everybody out there, if you have constructive criticism, if you have gotten constructive criticism from somebody, do not take it personal. Turn it around and use it as ammunition to propel yourself forward.
Yeah, I think I would advise that anyone just speak their mind within reason, and and the world's a better place. Yeah.
Exactly. What are you looking forward to accomplishing the most moving forward?
I'd like to make another album sometime. That would be cool. And at the moment, I've been speaking to a couple of promoters about playing in the States for the first time, and possibly Mexico too. So, I mean, this is the good thing in a way about the situation we're in now, is that I can actually sit and have these conversations with people about stuff that's going to happen next year. So I've quite enjoyed just hearing what they have to say, and if we can make it happen, then that would be amazing to play in the States.
Well, you know what? I think that would be great. I would think that would be great to have you coming over here to the States and you playing live and you coming on a tour. I mean, that would be awesome. We'd love to get you out here in Los Angeles as well, because I think you would be great out here. I think people would really enjoy it, like coming to an event, because your music is just so danceable, you know, and you can really dance, you can really groove to it, you can really just get out there. I mean, I can imagine, you know, going to a lot of shows, it's like, and, you know, as an audience, you just stand in the audience, you watch, you know, the performer, and you clap and you raise your hands, you go, yeah, woo, you know. But for you, for your style of music, I could just, in my head, I can visualize you playing up there and everybody out in the crowd dancing. That's what I visualize happening. So I think it'd be really great, you know, being here in the States, being here in Los Angeles, you know. that would be awesome to see you perform live here. And going down to Mexico, I think they would love you in Mexico too. I think they really would, because you do have that sound, you do have that vibe, you know, and it's a pretty groovy, like cool vibe you got going on.
Yeah, I'd worked on some projects in the past, and everything was always a bit more somber and probably a little more darker. But I mean, most of the album was finished just in total sunshine mode. Really, we wanted the album to sound like it had sunshine running through it, and it really does. You know, I think it's the first project I've been involved in that even managed to capture that. It's something really unique for me, because I could never have imagined making a record like that.
The successful things and some of the greatest things always come out because you go against the grain, or you think outside of the box. You go the opposite direction. Some of the best work comes in that direction. It's like, yes, you know, sometimes you kind of go, is this going to be right? Because this is kind of going against who I am. This is kind of going to, you know, in a different direction. I don't know if I'm, you know, I don't know if it's going to be good. You know, I don't know. You know, if you, I guess let me repeat that. If you're struggling with it internally, sometimes it can actually work out in your favor. You know, injecting that sunshine, as you call it, into the album and into your music, I think it's really kind of helped propel you to another level. And when listening to it, not just the album, but just some of your other releases as well, like even the remixes too, you know, it even makes you want to dance even more. I think us as human beings, I think at our core, we want to dance. We want to dance. It doesn't matter if what is being sung about is like happy or sad or angry or, you know, whatever. I think we as human beings, we just need to dance. And your music does hit that in that area. People do want to dance, and I can definitely see that. I mean, I haven't been to one of your shows, but I would imagine that going to one of your shows is pretty high energy.
Yeah. I mean, it's by the end, there's usually just clothes on the floor and sweat, and, you know, usually like some couple of people have had an argument or something, and there's, you know, but it's just, yeah, I really wouldn't have it any other way. I think that shows should be a release for the person on stage and the people in the audience, and really the stage becomes an extension of where the audience are. I would rather they were on stage with me, you know, because there's probably a little bit too much of this us and them situation, and I would much rather it just be a little bit more close.
Exactly. I mean, me personally, it's like when we do our like Nightwave and San Junipero events, or synthwave events that we do here in Los Angeles and, you know, San Francisco and New York. Like, the thing about those is like, me personally, I love it when I could bring the audience up on the stage and everybody can dance while I'm DJing this amazing music. Because I think it's important that everybody feels inclusive, that everybody is part of that thing that I'm feeling. I think that if everybody is a part of that, then we can all groove so much better, and we can all be involved and immersed in it so much better. Because if I'm feeling in party mode, I want everybody else out there to feel in party mode, because I think that's important. Like, people want to be involved. People want to be included. And at the end of the day, that's what's most important, is inclusion. You know, and when you're able to be up there and everybody around you is feeling that same vibe that you're feeling, it makes everything that you're doing so much more worth it.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think over the years that's something that I've really tried to work on, is just making sure that every show is an experience that people will remember, and it's not just, you know, a performance playing the songs or going through the motions, but that there's some magic in the room, and if you can't put that magic in the room, maybe you're not a live act. I think it, you know, I think if you're taking the journey and you're going to play live, then you need to put the magic in.
You need to put the magic in there. You need to leave it all out on the stage. You need to go out there and give it your all every time that you're up there. I know for me, you put a microphone in my hand, uh-oh, watch out, you gave me the microphone, uh-oh, I got some stuff to say, and you all are going to listen to it right here. Same thing for you. You're up there on stage, you have an outlet for everybody out there, you are going to take advantage of it all the way. I've seen your energy, not personally on the live show, but I've seen videos. I've seen your energy, and you have very high energy. So I can definitely, you know, I could definitely connect with that.
Yeah, oh, cool. It's the nearest thing to working out for me. I don't really do any sports. Not well, I play tennis a little, but really I don't do proper sports. So on stage is the full workout.
And that's the best workout you can get right there. You know what I mean? It definitely is. It definitely is, because you're feeling good up here, or you're feeling good here,
Yeah.
here, and all around here. What positive message would you give your fans out there?
I would say musically, but I mean, whatever you're doing in life, really, just please don't try and talk yourself out of doing something or putting it off or waiting. If there's something you want to do, don't be swayed by anybody. Just do it, and take a step every day, even if it's a bit hard and even if it's painful, even if you can just take a step every day to get to the next day, building on the thing that it is you want to get to. It doesn't matter what it is you want to do. But I think at the moment I get some people that say to me, oh, I'd love to do what you do, or how can I do that, or how do I get from here to here? But it doesn't just happen in a week, you know, and I think it's just for people to be a bit stronger and realize how short life is. You can't wait and wait and wait and wait, and then, you know, you have to just do it. And there's room for everybody. There's room for everybody to do what they want to do.
It's very true. Wise words right there from James, everybody. If you are working on something out there, or you have something that you want to create or put out into the world, do it. Do not wait. Do not talk yourself out of it. As James just said right here, do not talk yourself out of that. Because if it's calling to you and it's pulling to you in some way, you got to listen to it. You've got to. Because it is the universe telling you that, hey, this is where you need to be. This is what you need to do. Even if it's a little inkling in the back of your head or in your mind, it's that little spark. It's pulling at you. So don't let go of it. I like to say, kind of, if you're able, you know, it's like if you get onto something, ride the wave for as long as you can ride the wave. Because if you don't do it, you don't jump on the train, or you don't, you know, take advantage of it while you can, it will pass you by, and you will spend you'll spend years from now looking back and going, why didn't I not take that opportunity?
Exactly.
But then again, sometimes maybe in that moment you maybe dodged something that could have been, you know, that maybe it's saving you for something else. You never know. But I do know when opportunities present themselves, sometimes they come in mysterious ways. So you should take advantage of those opportunities when they come to you. And always push yourself. Always push yourself with those things. You know, you're right. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen within a week. You know, it's going to take time to build these things. It's going to take time to build whatever you want to build. It's not instant gratification. I mean, now in today's society, you can pay somebody. You know, if you want to work on a site, you can pay somebody to work on the site, and it'll be a great site, but it'll be fast, it'll be quick, it'll be easy, and you got it, and then you can go along your day. But if you want to learn how to build a site, it's going to take you time to learn how to do each and everything. So that's just the way it is with a business or with a career. It doesn't matter, and whatever you want to pursue, it's going to take time. But do not get discouraged. Do not get discouraged, because you can achieve some really amazing things if you just stick to that path.
Yeah, and sometimes just remember that, you know, everyone has bad days, you know, so there's no shame in this. You know, it's just, if you know, if you get distracted for a day or half a day, it's not the end of the world. Just do your best to collect yourself, and then start again the next day, or the next day, or the next. But just don't be distracted. You know, you have the right to do what it is you want to do.
Exactly. You have the right to do what you want to do. You're right. If you get distracted, you know, yes, pick it up, but don't ever lose focus on that thing. Don't lose focus on it. You don't have to be like, hey, whoosh, get to work, you know? It's like, but hey, if you're just, you know, if you need time to you need, you know, as, you know, in life as human beings, it's like we need time to recharge. We need time to recharge our batteries. We need time to do the things that we want to do. If we feel tired, listen to your body, because your body's telling you that you're tired, and you should probably take a break from what you're doing. But don't lose sight of your dreams. Don't lose sight of your focus, because it's going to take you some amazing places, people.
I'm with you there.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview today, James. Thank you to everybody who tuned in to watch us have this conversation. To everybody out there, if you like this interview, be sure to like and subscribe to our Tour Fiend YouTube channel, as we have many more awesome artist interviews on the way, just like this one. So from me to you, James, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.
No, thanks for having me. It's been great, and hopefully I'll meet you next year for a beer or a wine or something.
I would love that. I would love that so much. And you know what? To everybody out there, be sure to check out his album Dollars and Cents, and be sure to look for him here in the States sooner rather than later. We're looking at 2021, people, because it's going to be amazing.